Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Mademoiselle Lina, and you can find me online at www.conjurknits.com. Today, we are here to do the Aquarius Tarot Scope for July 2021, and we are going to be using the Fairies Oracle by Brian Froud. Before we get started, I would like to say thank you for viewing my video, and if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to my channel. Hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and click on the little bell so that you'll receive notifications of when I go live or upload new videos. I do try to stay pretty busy here on my channel. I do all 12 zodiac signs for the monthly tarot scopes. On Sundays, we have Conjure Crew with myself, Mambo Tanya, and the Black Bonnet Witch. On Mondays, I upload the weekly forecast. Every day, I do a card of the day reveal. On Wednesdays, we have the virtual book club. We are currently reading the Sword of Truth series by Terry Goodkind. It has been so much fun following Richard and Kaylin on their adventures, so you are definitely going to want to join us for that. I also pop on from time to time and do free readings, so make sure you get my notifications by clicking that little bell. Also, I do want to let you know that I will be teaching an Animal Speak workshop at the end of this month on July 29th, which just so happens to be my birthday. I will drop the link to the class in the description box below. Alright, I feel that I have rambled on long enough. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Card number 1. What is the challenge for this month? And we have the Friends. The one on top is Fairy Nuff. He and Layachin, his high-speed friend beneath, are the best of friends and can nearly always be found together. Call upon Fairy Nuff and you get Layachin as well. And when you need support or to better understand true friendship, do call upon them. As children, we all have fairy playmates and fairy guardians. As we grow older, the pressure of parents and others in our community often nag us into blocking our visions of and communications with the fairies. Fairy Nuff and Layachin can help us go back to that childlike trust in the fairies, and to renew our forgotten friendships with them. They can also often help us to learn more about the true meaning of friendship. Friendly cooperation with others is necessary to reach mutual goals. Willingness to give and receive assistance and support is also required. Ask friends for help and suggestions, listen with respect, and accept the gifts willingly offered. Unconditional receiving is even more difficult than unconditional giving. 4 feet are more stable than 2. Alternatively, Fairy Nuff and Layachin may be saying that you will benefit at this time from offering support and aid to a friend. Look around you. Someone you love may be needing your help and be too bound up by fear of rejection or pride to ask. Volunteer your help to your friends and give unconditionally from a generous, loving heart. It will do you good, increasing your store of credit for help in time of need, and it might even help them in the process. Card number 2. What positive energies can I embrace this month? And we have the Journeyman. All of the great ones, the saints, the bodhisattvas, and all of those who are filled by the spiritual light, have been on this journey. They went into the wilderness, stepping, like fools, off of the safe paths, into the waiting hands of their gods and goddesses. This is the journey of life, a pilgrimage that begins in ignorant trust, passes through all of the doubts, fears, ups and downs, probably all of the delusions, and certainly all of the confusions. Through it, we learn slowly, painfully, a new kind of trust, a trust in the process detached from the goal. Our young Ongus Journeyman, bless him, is stepping out on the journey of life, positively glowing with enthusiasm. Even his toes sparkle. Bright, handsome, and educated, he has not yet achieved true mastery of his trade. To accomplish this, he must leave the protection of his master and step out onto his path as an independent journeyman craftsman. He is testing himself and his knowledge in the world. He hopes to eventually achieve the status of Master Maker. Right now, he knows a lot of facts, has all the basic skills, but probably knows less than he thinks he does. He is about to learn about the skills of survival: bartering, persuading, selling, buying wisely, enjoying life, making friends. At least he doesn't need to learn how to iron his own shirts. Ongus still has lovely, playful, childlike qualities. Notice how it looks like Ongus is playing balance the ball on a stick with the moon. He seems to have no constraints, sets no boundaries on what he can do, and because he is magical and doesn't set such limitations on himself, he is able to walk on air or water, or through the hills, all with the moon nicely balanced both on his stick and in the sky. Our young Onkus must learn to care for himself. No one is looking over his shoulder to see that he does his work right and eats properly. Ongus may take chances and even make mistakes sometimes, as we all do, but this is how we learn. He is now confronting, and being confronted by, the real world. Here he will discover that excuses don't buy bread, and that the quality and integrity of one's work and actions are what counts, but he has been well taught and pretty well knows this already. Don't tell them I told you, but Onkus sometimes wears a false mustache, hoping that it makes him look more mature. He has romantic dreams of being a great hero, of becoming the supreme master of his craft, and of winning a fairy princess. Some of these dreams will come true, perhaps even all of them. Here we see an innocent being walking trustfully into a situation for which he is not fully prepared, and indeed cannot be fully prepared, or for which his preparation is as yet untested by reality. He is innocent of previous practical experience of the path he is now treading or the realm of life into which he is moving. This card could be called Innocence Encounters Reality, which is by no means a bad thing. His fairy godmother is lurking somewhere, just out of his sight, as fairy godmothers tend to do. Her expression is both gleeful and worried. Her hair is already whiter than it was before he began, and she is keeping her wand fully charged at all times. Although this is his journey and he must undertake it himself, almost everyone needs, and is given, a little fairy godmothering from time to time. Good-natured innocence attracts fairy guardians. It attracts helpful beings on all planes and in all worlds. It may also attract those who would abuse that innocence, but as long as our intentions are good, our guardians will offer good guidance. We are blessed and cared for if we allow ourselves to be. The world is before Ongus with smiles and teeth. Ongus has optimism, cheerfulness, magic skills, and a diligent fairy godmother. Ongus grows within us when we step bravely into the unknown, developing our potentials with hope and optimism and an open heart. Card number 3. What negative energies do I need to negotiate this month? And we have the fairy godmother. This is Sari. She gives us grace to help us along our way. It might be a little touch of fairy dust to lift a mood. It might be a conspicuous miracle. It might be anything in between. She protects us from the ill will and plain stupidity of others, and from our own mistakes. She untangles the snarls in our psyches and bestows gifts upon us, whatever she feels we need. Sometimes she gives us choices when we thought we had none. Grace is the good fortune we get from the universe even when we don't deserve it. In fact, deserving or not deserving is not the issue. We are, and therefore, we are loved. It's that simple. Sari, the fairy godmother, is a giver of grace and occasionally, quite often, in fact, of useful lessons. She tries not to interfere with our learning processes, but she adds that little touch of fairy grace that helps us to learn a little faster sometimes. Quite often she acts in our lives through the hands and hearts of others. The fairy godmother is the only one to wear a crown of stars, flowers, and branches, which says a lot about her. Luckily, each of us has a fairy godmother to provide the extras that our guardian angels are often too busy to think about. Fairy godmothers in general are well known for their love of parties. Don't forget to invite them to your festivities and special occasions. The fairy godmother glows through us as we perform loving and appropriate kindnesses for others and develop our capacity for unconditional love. Sari offers last-minute rescues. When she turns up in our readings, good things may well be happening that we don't think we deserve, or that we do deserve but haven't thought to ask for. Almost imperceptibly, she teaches us about giving and receiving unconditionally, helping us to open our hearts to love and acceptance. She sometimes showers us with abundance. Keep an eye out for unexpected good fortune, especially when you thought you saw bad luck headed your way. Remember to say thank you by passing a kindness on to someone else. Practice a little fairy godmothering yourself and see how enjoyable it is. Part of the fun of it is to do it so that the recipient doesn't know where the gift came from. Card number 4. What do I need to make time for this month? And we have She of the Cruach. This is the great goddess, the many-named mother of all, and all goddesses are attributes or aspects of her. Her cup, the Cruach, overflows with bounty for all. She is the yin energy of the universe, nurturing, compassionate, and wise. She gives form and brings into manifestation the will and life force of he of the fiery sword. His is the intention, the action, and hers is the manifest reality. In a sense, she is the Cruach holding all the worlds within her being. You may see the Cruach as a great bowl, like a scrying tool for seeing past, present, or future potential, but filled with energy instead of water. Within it, one may see a tower with a moon above it, a farmhouse, and many other bits and pieces of our world. If you drop something in the water, these things would scatter out to become reality, archetypes manifesting everywhere. She is the woman who dreams, and her dreams are the worlds and all that is in them. Looking at this card, what you may see here is the energy of being held lovingly in the palm of the hand of the great goddess, followed by a relaxed sigh and release. She of the Cruach is the holder of all of our sorrows and all of our joys. Her Cruach, the miraculous chalice, is the womb of birth and the cauldron of rebirth, the chalice of healing, the container holding the germinating seed. She is the body, the soul shrine that holds the spirit and keeps it from being lost or dissipated in a formless fog. She is pattern and form in the abstract and in the specific. Within her we take form, grow, achieve fulfillment, and let go of that form to move on to the next phase of our being. All of the universe, each individual particle, every being, is cherished by her. She of the Cruach may indicate a form of pregnancy, a necessary time of nurturing and development. We need to be open to her overflowing grace. She may also indicate a need to allow her nurturing grace to flow through us to others in the form of unconditional love and giving and spiritual healing. She tells us of the need for unconditional receiving, of making the best of what we are offered. She also reminds us that unbounded love and grace is ours, just waiting to be accepted. The presence of this card in a reading radiates comfort and nurturing to the cards around it. Card number 5. What opportunity should I seize this month? And we have Laced, Moon's daughter. She is the bringer of light in the darkness, yet moonlight both reveals and conceals. Her bright fairy hoof prints light the path ahead of you, guiding you through the dark. She is also one of the guides at the passages between the other world and this one. It is she who, with her bright light, tends the gate of revelation, showing us the way through by illumination, while her sister, Epona's wild daughter, helps guide us through the gate of despair. Lace's gate is much more fun. Yet, in the process of guiding us, Laced may pull a veil of cloud across the face of her mother, the moon, and 3 steps later we fall into a bog. That should wake you up, she thinks, smiling wisely. She disapproves of sleepwalking, which is something that most of us humans do a great deal of the time. The night contains too much magic and beauty and wisdom to walk through it unseeing. You may find her activities helpful, you may find them frustrating. How you take them is entirely up to you, but they are intended to help you awaken. Bear in mind that she does not trip us, she merely places an obstacle or a pitfall in our path, and we, sleepwalking and unaware, step right into it. We don't have to do that. As always, it is our choice. Laced wants us to be open to the great unknown, to mystical, not necessarily magical, experiences that teach us an expanded way to relate to the multiverse, all of the worlds and dimensions together. She is the daughter of the moon, but she is also an Illumine child of unity, where the Lascana, the Frog Queen, wishes you to get in touch with your subconscious and find the treasures there. Laced hopes you will reach for your higher self, your not yet realized cosmic wisdom. You know far more than you know you know. There are places in ourselves that we may have feared because they are shadowed and unknown. We may imagine them full of monsters when, in fact, they are inhabited by joyful spirits. She wishes us to explore this terra incognita because that is where much of our potential and as yet unexplored wisdom lies. Laced reaches into our deepest minds, opening long-shut doors, illuminating and revealing the uncultivated ground of our being, our hidden senses and talents. She speaks to us in the language of symbols, as fairies often do, because words are so limited. Any one symbol may speak to us on many levels of consciousness, and about many different aspects of being, if we spend time contemplating it. Laced is a sphinx, and finding the answers to her profound riddles gives us keys to the multiverse. If you are attending to your dreams and visions and studying everyday occurrences, trying to discover the deeper levels of meaning in the symbols there, you are learning the language of Laced. That language is spoken by artists like Brian and poets whose works are informed by rich symbolism. Discovering it through study, through looking within ourselves, and through interaction with fairies not only teaches us the language of fairy, of art, and of high poetry, but it also gives us keys to our own psychic abilities and to the deep levels of our own psyches, where the singers and the creative force of unity are most easily found. Through revelation and the ecstatic experience of the mystic, Laced faces and leads us into the future. She prefers to let the old stuff of the past fade away in the illumination of insight and newly accessed wisdom. You may be finding apparently random events and ideas are falling into a pattern and beginning to make sense to you. Things may be flowing more easily than you are accustomed to, and your decisions and choices may be bringing an unusually high degree of success. Psychic abilities, hunches, intuitions, foreknowing are becoming clearer and making more sense. Trust the process. Laced also brings psychic dreams, forelighting the future and illumining the present. These dreams often speak in symbols, as fairies are wont to do. All right, let's take a look at the bigger picture here. Card number 1. What is the challenge for this month? And we have the Friends. This speaks to us about lifting each other up, not only helping others, but allowing others to help us. Also, don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. Next, we have card number 2. What positive energies can I embrace this month? And we have the Journeyman. He is a very adventurous person. Some could look at him as the fool in the original tarot, but he is so much more than that. This card speaks to us of not only adventuring out, but also not putting limitations on ourselves. It is about being more independent. Card number 3. What negative energies do I need to negotiate this month? And we get the Fairy Godmother. This is normally a very positive card. So, because it is coming up in a negative aspect that we need to negotiate this month, I feel like it is going back to card number 2 and telling us not to rely so much on our fairy godmother. We need to make our own way. Also, when I was reading this card and the Journeyman card, I kept getting the feeling of sending your child off to college. You want to be there and hold their hand and do things for them and guide them along their way, but at some point, you have to let them go. You have to let them fly. card number 4. What do I need to make time for this month? And we get She of the Cruach. She is telling us to embrace all of everything. The world in its entirety is so magical and spiritual. Allow this beautiful energy to flow within and through you in everything that you do. And finally, card number 5. What opportunity should I seize this month? And we get Laced Moon's Daughter. She wants us to pay attention to our intuition, to our dreams. She is teaching us in our unconsciousness. It may be a good idea to start journaling. Especially, keep a dream journal. Write down your dreams. Write down the symbolism in your dreams. Draw pictures of the symbols that you see. Your psychic abilities are coming alive in your dreams. Pay attention to them. Overall, it does look like this is a very good month for you. I hope that this reading has helped you and will help lead you and guide you throughout the month of July. If you do feel that it has helped you and that it will help someone else, please feel free to share this video. And if you would like a more in-depth and personal reading, you can go to my website at www.conjurknits.com and click on the link at the top of the page that says Book a Reading. Also, don't forget to sign up for my class. I hope you all have a very beautiful and amazing month. Love you bunches. Bye-bye.